My dear children, come close and rest in my presence. Be still and listen, for I am here with you. Imagine the hush of a chapel at dawn, where candles flicker with a gentle glow, their small flames dancing like whispers of eternity. Hear the slow, distant chime of a bell, calling hearts to awaken, calling souls to draw near to me. Picture the sunlight streaming through stained glass, casting colors across the stone floor, painting beauty upon coldness, warmth upon shadow. In this sacred stillness, I invite you to open your heart. Lay down your burdens, your unspoken wounds, and the secret heaviness you have carried for so long. You do not need to hide from me, for I see you, I know you, and I love you. The silence of this moment is not empty, for I am here, filling every space with my peace. Just as light breaks through a window and scatters the darkness, so my presence breaks through the shadows of your heart. My dear children, let the world grow quiet now, and let my voice be your guide. I have brought you here because I desire to set you free. You have carried chains of bitterness, resentment, and pain, chains that weigh you down even when you smile on the outside. My message for you today is not one of condemnation, but of liberation. I want to open the door of your heart and lead you out into freedom. You see, forgiveness is not only something I give to you, it is a gift I teach you to give. When you release others, you release yourself. When you forgive, you step into the wide open spaces of my grace. My dear children, I want to walk with you today through the truth of forgiveness, through the beauty of mercy, and through the freedom that comes only from me. My dear children, hear my voice. You were not created to live as prisoners of anger or bitterness. Picture a dark cell, cold and confining. Its walls press in with hopelessness, and yet the door is already unlocked. I have already swung it open. The light spills in, the fresh air calls, but still you sit within, holding the bars, believing you cannot leave. Forgiveness is stepping out of that cell. It is leaving behind the darkness and walking with me into the light of freedom. I have shown you forgiveness in its purest form. On the cross, my love poured out like rivers of living water. My blood washed away the weight of your sin, not because you earned it, but because I love you. I remind you of my words in Ephesians 4:32. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. My dear children, this is not a command meant to burden you, but a promise meant to set you free. There is a healing that comes when you forgive, a healing that cannot be found in revenge, nor in holding on to the memory of wrongs. When you forgive, you let my Spirit flow through you like living water in a dry land. Bitterness is like stagnant water. It grows foul and heavy, but forgiveness is a river, clear and fresh, carrying away the debris of pain. My dear children, I know it is not easy. I see the tears you have shed. I know the wounds that others have caused, wounds so deep you wonder if they will ever close. But hear me. Nothing is beyond my healing. Nothing is too broken for my touch. When you forgive, you do not deny the pain, but you release the power of that pain to destroy you. You place it into my hands, and I redeem it. Look to the cross, where mercy triumphed over judgment. Look to the empty tomb, where life overcame death. I am the God who brings beauty from ashes, who turns mourning into dancing, who gives you garments of praise instead of a spirit of despair. My dear children, if I have so freely forgiven you, will you not walk in that same freedom by forgiving others? I do not say this lightly, for I know how heavy the burden of hurt can be. Yet I remind you, when you cling to anger, it binds you, not the one who wronged you. Forgiveness is not excusing what was done, but entrusting justice into my hands. It is stepping out of the prison you were never meant to remain in. Pause for a moment and imagine yourself standing at the threshold of that prison cell. The light is spilling in, warm and golden. You feel the weight of chains at your wrists and ankles, but as you step forward, the chains fall away. The air is fresh, the sky is wide, and freedom stretches out before you. This is what I long for you, my dear children. This is the life of forgiveness. I tell you again, my word is true. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. My mercy flows freely, and as you receive it, so you can give it. Release the bitterness, and I will fill the empty place with my peace. Let go of resentment, and I will pour in joy. Where you once felt the sharp sting of betrayal, I will anoint you with comfort, and you will know my embrace. My dear children, hear my heart. I am not calling you to do this alone. My Spirit is with you, strengthening you, guiding you, reminding you that my power is made perfect in your weakness. Each step of forgiveness is a step into my presence. Each act of mercy is a reflection of my own mercy toward you. You may say, "But I cannot forgive," and I say to you, with me you can. For I will give you a new heart and renew your spirit. I will place my love within you, a love that keeps no record of wrongs, a love that bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. My dear children, come out into the freedom I offer you. The door is open, the light is shining, and I am calling you by name. Rest now in my presence. Breathe deeply of my peace. Know that you are loved, you are forgiven, and you are free. Let the rivers of my mercy wash over you. Let the chains fall. Let the door swing wide and step forward into life abundant. I am your Father, and I delight in your freedom. My dear children, remain with me here a little longer, for I have more to pour into your hearts. Forgiveness is not a shallow stream. It is a deep river, and I invite you to wade into its waters until you are surrounded, immersed, and carried by my current of grace. When you forgive, you reflect my image more clearly. For I am a God who delights in mercy. The world often teaches you to hold on, to keep accounts of wrong, to measure justice by how much another has hurt you. But I, your Father, teach you a better way. I teach you the way of the cross, the way of mercy that triumphs, the way of love that conquers all. Think of the prisoner I showed you earlier. Imagine him sitting on the cold floor of his cell, clutching bitterness as though it were treasure. His fists are tight around it, but it burns him. It offers no comfort, no healing, only more pain, and yet he clings. My dear children, some of you have done the same. You have clutched the memory of what was spoken against you, of betrayal, of abandonment, of cruelty. You believe that holding it protects you, but in truth it chains you. But see now, when he finally opens his hand and lets the bitterness fall, the shackles slip away. The door is open, and he can rise. The prisoner walks free not because he won justice, but because he chose to let go. And when he steps into the sunlight, he finds that freedom was waiting for him all along. So it is with you, my beloved ones. You cannot rewrite the past, but you can choose how it lives within you. Will you let the past imprison you, or will you let me transform it into testimony? When you forgive, you give me permission to redeem what was broken. What others meant for harm, I can turn for good. What was meant to wound, I can use to heal. Remember, I have walked this road before you. As my Son hung on the cross, nails piercing his hands and feet, his voice was not one of hatred. His words were, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." My dear children, if forgiveness was spoken even from the place of greatest suffering, know that I can place the same mercy in your heart. Hear this truth. Forgiveness is an act of strength, not weakness. It is an act of freedom, not surrender to evil. It is choosing to step into the vast expanse of my grace and to let me hold what you cannot bear. It does not mean you must remain in harmful places or endure unrepentant wrongs. Forgiveness means you release judgment into my perfect hands and walk forward with peace in your heart. My dear children, picture a great field after a storm. The winds have torn branches, the rain has left pools of mud, and the sky is heavy with gray. But then the sun rises, the clouds break, and beams of golden light pierce through. Slowly, warmth returns, flowers lift their heads again, and new growth springs from the soil. So it is when you forgive. Though the storm of pain may rage, forgiveness allows the light to return. It allows new life to grow where there was only ruin. I do not ask you to forgive on your own strength. I know you cannot. But I promise that when you call on me, I will help you. My Spirit will whisper to your heart. My word will remind you of truth, and my love will give you courage. Remember what is written, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." So when you say, "I am too weak to forgive," I say to you, my power will be your strength. My dear children, there is also great joy awaiting you in forgiveness. The bitterness you have carried has clouded your vision, but when you release it, your eyes will see differently. You will see people not as enemies, but as souls I dearly love. You will recognize that even those who hurt you are in need of the same mercy I gave you. Forgiveness opens your heart to compassion, and compassion draws you closer to me. I know the cost feels high, but the reward is far greater. The peace that flows when you forgive is a peace the world cannot give. It is the peace of knowing that nothing has power to chain you anymore. The enemy loses his grip, and you walk in the victory of the cross. Even now, my dear children, I am speaking freedom over you. The prison door is open. The chains are falling. The light is streaming in. Do not remain where you are. Step forward. Release the weight. Let your soul breathe again. Forgive, and you will find freedom like never before. Pause with me now. Picture yourself standing in a wide meadow, green with fresh growth, flowers blooming, streams flowing gently nearby. The air is sweet, the sky is vast, and there is no wall, no chain, no darkness around you. You are free. This is what forgiveness looks like in your soul, and this is what I long for each of you to experience. So, my dear children, hear my invitation once more. Forgive, just as I have forgiven you. Step into the river of my mercy. Walk out of the unlocked cell. Let the chains fall and the light rise. And know that as you forgive, you are never alone, for I, your Father, am with you always. My dear children, remain close to me, for I am not finished speaking life into your heart. Forgiveness is not only a doorway out of prison, it is also a pathway into abundance. When you forgive, you step into fields you have never walked before, meadows filled with peace, orchards laden with fruit, rivers flowing clear and strong. This is the inheritance I long to give you, but the key is found in your willingness to let go. Think of a tree weighed down with dead branches. The branches are brittle, heavy, and lifeless, yet they cling. The tree cannot stretch toward the sun, cannot flourish as it was meant to, until the gardener prunes away what is dead. So it is with your soul, my dear children. When you release bitterness, when you allow me to cut away resentment, you make room for new life, for growth, for the fruit of my Spirit to blossom in you: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. I tell you again, bitterness is not your portion. Resentment is not your inheritance. You were made for freedom, you were made for love, and as surely as the dawn follows the night, so surely my mercy will cover you when you choose to forgive. My dear children, some of you have carried old wounds, wounds from years ago. They still ache when you remember them. Perhaps you were betrayed by someone you trusted, or abandoned when you were most in need. Perhaps harsh words spoken long ago still echo in your memory, as though they were spoken yesterday. I have seen it all. I have held every tear, every silent cry. And now I say to you, bring those wounds to me. Let me bind them. Let me wash them. Let me place my hand upon them and make them whole. Forgiveness does not erase the past, but it transforms it. It takes what was meant to harm and turns it into testimony of my grace. My dear children, imagine holding a shard of broken glass. In your hand, it cuts, it wounds. But when placed in the hands of a master craftsman, it can be set into a window of stained glass, catching light and turning it into beauty. So it is with your pain. In your hands, it wounds. In mine, it shines. Do you see, my dear children, how my love changes everything? When you forgive, you are no longer a victim of what was done. You become a vessel of my glory. You show the world that darkness cannot overcome light, that hatred cannot extinguish love, that evil cannot win where my Spirit reigns. Pause again and picture a clear river flowing down a mountain. Stones lie in its path, sharp and jagged. Yet the river does not stop. It moves, it flows, it carries even the hardest rocks away with time. Forgiveness is like that river. At first the stones seem immovable, but as you surrender to me day by day, my Spirit flows through you, wearing away the sharp edges, carrying away the weight until only peace remains. My dear children, I know some of you are afraid. You wonder, if I forgive, will it mean I accept what was done? Will it mean I must return to the place of pain? Hear my voice clearly. Forgiveness is not permission for others to harm you again. Forgiveness is not calling evil good. Forgiveness is placing judgment into my hands and choosing to walk in freedom instead of chains. You are not weak for forgiving. You are strong, for you stand in the strength of my Spirit. Look again to my Son, who bore the weight of the world's sin. He forgave even those who pierced him, and in that forgiveness he triumphed. Death could not hold him, the grave could not keep him, and because he forgave, life eternal burst forth for all who believe. My dear children, when you forgive, you share in that triumph. You walk in the victory of resurrection life. I remind you of this promise. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. As you extend forgiveness, you receive even more of my mercy in return. It is a cycle of grace, flowing without end, because my love is without end. My dear children, let your heart rest in this truth. You are already forgiven. Nothing in your past, no failure, no rebellion, no hidden shame stands between us anymore. The blood of my Son has washed it clean, and as you have received such mercy, so I call you to give. Imagine now, walking on a path at dawn. The air is cool, the sky is painted with the first blush of morning. Behind you, the night is gone, but you still carry a heavy pack upon your back. Each step is hard, weighed down by the burden. But then I come beside you and whisper, "Lay it down." You unstrap the pack, let it fall, and suddenly you can walk with ease. The path stretches wide before you, and you lift your eyes to see the horizon glowing with light. This is what forgiveness feels like, laying down the weight that was never meant for you to carry. So I invite you, my dear children, forgive. Forgive the one who wounded you. Forgive the one who abandoned you. Forgive even yourself, for my grace covers all. Step out of the prison, step into the light, and let freedom be your song. And know this: each time you forgive, heaven rejoices. Each time you release a wound, angels sing. Each time you let bitterness go, my Spirit fills you afresh, and you shine brighter in a world longing for light. My dear children, you are not bound, you are free, and I delight in your freedom. My dear children, lean in closer, for I have more to speak into your hearts. Forgiveness is not only an action, it is a way of living. It is the posture of a heart that rests in my love, a heart that trusts me to carry every burden. Each time you choose forgiveness, you choose to walk in the light instead of shadow. You choose to breathe freely instead of gasping under the weight of chains. Do you see how bitterness steals from you? It drains your strength, clouds your mind, hardens your heart. It whispers lies that you are protecting yourself, when in truth it is keeping you imprisoned. But forgiveness restores what bitterness has stolen. Forgiveness softens your heart and makes it tender again. Forgiveness renews your vision so you can see beauty where there was once only pain. Forgiveness fills you with peace that surpasses understanding, a peace the world cannot take away. My dear children, I have placed before you life and death, blessing and curse. Bitterness belongs to death. Forgiveness belongs to life. Which will you choose? Hear my invitation. Choose life. Choose freedom. Choose the way of love that I have shown you. For I am the God who makes all things new, and as you forgive, I make you new as well. Think of a garden after winter. The soil is cold and hard. The trees are bare, the flowers hidden. Yet beneath the surface, new life waits. And when spring comes, the ice melts, the sun warms the ground, and beauty bursts forth in blossoms and fruit. So it is when you forgive. Forgiveness melts the frozen ground of your heart, allowing new growth to spring up. What was barren becomes fruitful. What was desolate becomes beautiful again. My dear children, you may ask me, how many times must I forgive? Surely once is enough. But I remind you, my mercy toward you never ends. Each day, each hour, my grace covers you. And so I invite you to extend the same mercy without limit. Not because it is easy, but because my Spirit dwells within you, empowering you to forgive as I forgive. Do not think that forgiveness means forgetting or pretending the wrong never happened. Forgiveness means you release the grip of that wrong upon your soul. You entrust it into my hands where justice and mercy meet perfectly. You can trust me, my dear children, for I see all things clearly. I will uphold the cause of the oppressed. I will heal the brokenhearted. I will bind up their wounds. Nothing escapes my eyes, and nothing is beyond my reach. Picture again the prisoner stepping from the cell. Imagine the weight that falls from his shoulders as he breathes the air of freedom. Imagine the joy that floods his soul when he realizes he is no longer bound. That is what I long for you to feel. That is what happens when you forgive. You walk into the wide open spaces of my grace, and your soul sings with freedom. I remind you of my word once more. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as in Christ God forgave you. My dear children, this is not merely instruction. It is invitation. It is an invitation into the life you were always meant to live, a life of peace, of joy, of overflowing love. I know the hurt feels deep. I know the wounds feel fresh. But I tell you the truth. My healing runs deeper still. My love reaches farther still. And as you forgive, my love will cover every scar, turning even your deepest pain into a testimony of my grace. My dear children, I do not speak these words to burden you, but to free you. For when you forgive, you are not left empty. I fill the space where bitterness once lived. I pour in my Spirit. I renew your mind. I restore your soul. You do not walk away from forgiveness weaker. You walk away stronger, more alive, more radiant with my glory. Pause now and imagine standing on the shore of a vast ocean. The waves crash gently at your feet, washing over the sand, carrying away what is old and leaving behind what is new. Each wave cleanses, refreshes, renews. That is what forgiveness is like, my dear children. Each act of forgiveness is another wave of my mercy, washing away the weight of the past, leaving you refreshed, renewed, and free. Let your heart rest in this truth. You are my children, dearly loved. I have forgiven you completely, without measure, without hesitation. And I invite you to walk in the same freedom by forgiving others. Do not delay. Do not sit in the shadows of the cell when the door is already open. Step into the light. Step into the freedom that is yours in me. And as you walk in forgiveness, know that you are walking with me. For I am the God of mercy, the Father of compassion, the one who loves you with an everlasting love. My dear children, I will never leave you nor forsake you. I will walk beside you. I will carry you when you are weak, and I will rejoice with you as you step into the fullness of life. So come, let go of the bitterness, release the chains, forgive as I have forgiven you, and watch as I pour out my peace upon you, peace like a river, joy like a fountain, love like the dawn breaking over the horizon. For this is the freedom of forgiveness, and it is my gift to you. My dear children, linger with me still, for forgiveness is not learned in a moment, but in the slow soaking of my truth into your soul. Just as the morning dew does not rush, but rests quietly upon every blade of grass, so my Spirit rests upon you now, softening, nourishing, and preparing your heart to live free. You see, forgiveness is not only for those who wronged you, it is for you. It is a gift I give so that you may live unburdened. When you forgive, you release yourself from chains you may not even realize you wear. Anger and resentment are heavy garments. They tire you, they sap your joy, they make the journey harder than it was ever meant to be. But forgiveness is like a new robe, light and radiant, woven from threads of my mercy. When you wear it, you walk in freedom, you walk in peace, you walk as beloved children of the King. My dear children, I long for you to see forgiveness not as loss, but as gain. You do not lose when you forgive. You gain my peace. You do not diminish yourself. You rise into my likeness. You do not let go of justice. You entrust it into my perfect hands. Do you not know that I am the God of justice, that I see every wrong, every tear, every wound? Nothing is hidden from me, and nothing is forgotten by me. Forgiveness does not erase the truth. It places the truth in the light of my love, where healing flows and freedom reigns. Think of the prisoner once more. He has sat so long in his cell that he has forgotten what the sun feels like. His eyes have grown accustomed to the shadows. But when he steps out into the light, it dazzles him. Warmth floods his skin. Joy stirs within him. So it is with your heart when you forgive. You may not realize how long you have sat in shadow, but when you choose forgiveness, my light floods in, and you are awakened to joy you had forgotten was possible. My dear children, the freedom of forgiveness also restores your relationships. Where walls of resentment once stood, forgiveness builds bridges of grace. Where silence once reigned, forgiveness opens the door to new conversations. Where hearts were hardened, forgiveness plants seeds of reconciliation. Not every relationship will be restored to what it once was, but every relationship can be placed into my hands, and in my hands all things are redeemed. I remind you of what my word says. Love covers a multitude of sins. Forgiveness is the outworking of love, and love is the very essence of who I am. When you forgive, you step into the flow of my own heart. You become a vessel of my love in a broken world, a light shining in darkness, a testimony that my mercy is greater than all sin. Do not fear that forgiving means forgetting who you are. On the contrary, forgiveness reveals your true identity, for you are not defined by what others have done to you. You are not shaped by the wounds you have suffered. You are defined by my love, shaped by my mercy, secured in my grace. Forgiveness is agreeing with me about who you really are, my beloved child, free, cherished, unchained. Picture yourself walking through a wide field filled with wild flowers. The air is fragrant, the sky is vast, and the path stretches before you with no barriers, no walls. That is the life of forgiveness. Now picture yourself carrying a heavy stone in each hand, trying to walk the same path. You stumble, you tire, and the beauty around you is hidden by the weight you carry. Those stones are bitterness and resentment. Will you not let them fall, my dear children? Drop them at my feet, and I will carry them for you. walk unburdened, and see the beauty of the path I have prepared for you. My dear children, some of you wrestle most not with forgiving others, but with forgiving yourselves. You replay your failures, you rehearse your mistakes, and you wear shame like a cloak. But hear me clearly, I have already forgiven you. The cross was enough. The blood of my Son washed it all. When I look at you, I do not see shame. I see my beloved child, clothed in righteousness, radiant in grace. If I have forgiven you, why will you not forgive yourself? Let my mercy be enough. Let my love silence the accusations. Step into the freedom that is already yours. Forgiveness, both given and received, is the heartbeat of my kingdom. It is the melody that heaven sings. It is the fragrance that rises like incense from a life surrendered to me. My dear children, I call you not to live small and bound, but wide and free, radiant with mercy, overflowing with compassion. Pause again with me and imagine standing by a great waterfall. The water thunders down, endless, powerful, unrelenting. This is my mercy toward you. It never ceases, never runs dry. And just as the mist from the falls touches your skin, cooling and refreshing you, so my mercy touches your soul, renewing you moment by moment. When you forgive, you step under the flow of that waterfall, and you become a vessel through which my mercy pours into the lives of others. My dear children, do not withhold what I have so freely given you. Forgive, and watch as bitterness loses its grip. Forgive, and watch as joy returns. Forgive, and watch as peace settles over your soul like the calm after a storm. My dear children, linger with me now in this closing moment. Let my words settle over you like the quiet of evening after a long day, like the soft glow of the last rays of the sun as it sinks beyond the horizon. The world may hurry and demand, but here in my presence, time slows. Peace deepens. Rest surrounds you. I want these final words to embrace you as a father's arms wrap around his beloved children. I have spoken to you of forgiveness, of freedom, of the open door that waits for you. And now, as you prepare to step back into your day, I desire to seal these truths in your heart, so that they do not fade with the noise of the world, but remain like seeds planted in good soil, seeds that will grow into trees of righteousness, bearing fruit in every season. My dear children, forgiveness is not only a lesson to hear, it is a life to live. Carry this truth with you. The chains are broken. The door is open. You are free. Each morning when you rise, remember this gift. Each night when you rest, lay your burdens at my feet again. For my mercies are new every morning, and my love endures forever. Hear again the promise of my word. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. My rest is not momentary, it is abiding. It is the calm after the storm, the still waters that follow the raging flood, the quiet meadow after the winds have passed. This is my blessing for you, my dear children. Rest for your soul, renewal for your spirit, peace that the world cannot take away. Picture the clouds parting after a heavy storm. The sky, once dark, opens to reveal light breaking through, warm and golden. That light is my presence shining upon you, chasing away the shadows of anger, fear, and despair. My dear children, let that light fill you now. Let it warm the places that still feel cold. Let it shine upon wounds still tender. For in my light, healing flows. In my light you see clearly. In my light, you are never alone. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not bound. You are mine, forever mine. I call you by name. I know every detail of your life. I see the road behind you, the path beneath you, and the way ahead. And I walk with you in all of it. When you stumble, I lift you. When you weep, I hold you. When you rejoice, I rejoice with you. My dear children, my love is a constant stream, flowing without end. Pause with me and imagine standing beside a river, its waters rushing clear and cool. Dip your hands into it, feel the refreshment, watch how the current never stops. This river is my love, my mercy, my forgiveness. It will never run dry. And just as rivers carve valleys and shape landscapes, so my mercy shapes your life, carving away bitterness, shaping you into a vessel of grace. My dear children, I bless you now with courage, courage to forgive again when old memories return, courage to trust me when the pain feels too heavy, courage to believe that I am working even when you cannot yet see. My spirit will strengthen you. My word will guide you. My promises will anchor you. Hear the anchor of my word again. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. This is not only a command, it is a reminder of who you are. You are my forgiven ones. You are my beloved children. You are free, and you are called to live in that freedom. As you walk forward, carry this blessing in your heart. You are wrapped in my love. It is a love higher than the heavens, deeper than the oceans, stronger than death itself. It is a love that holds you steady when the winds blow, a love that whispers peace in the night, a love that will never let you go. My dear children, let your heart rest now in my embrace. Feel the calm of this moment as though I am holding you close, rocking you gently, whispering my delight over you. For you are my treasure, my delight, my joy. And nothing can separate you from my love. Not the mistakes of yesterday, not the fears of tomorrow, not the trials of today. My love is eternal, unshakable, unfailing. Go now into your day with this blessing, peace like a river, joy like a fountain, hope like the rising dawn. Let forgiveness be your song, freedom be your banner, and love be your fragrance in the world. Be light to those who sit in darkness. Be kindness to those who feel forgotten. Be mercy to those who are broken. For when you live this way, you reflect me. You carry my presence into every corner of the world. My dear children, I am with you always. When you lie down, I am there. When you rise, I am there. When you walk through valleys, I walk beside you. When you climb mountains, I cheer you on. And when you finish your race, I will welcome you home with joy beyond imagination. As you close this time with me, let my words linger. Do not rush away. Breathe deeply of my peace. Let it fill your chest, calm your mind, steady your spirit. Know that you are loved. Know that you are free. Know that you are mine. And my dear children, before you go, I gently ask you to share what you have received here today. Just as my light is not meant to be hidden, so my message is not meant to be kept in silence. If these words have touched you, if my love has reached your heart, I invite you to let others know. You may choose to like this message, to leave a comment of encouragement, or to subscribe so that these streams of living water may flow into more lives. Do this not out of duty, but out of joy, out of love, out of a desire to see others set free. For as you share, you become a vessel of my mercy to others who are still waiting to hear my voice. My dear children, I bless you now in the name of my Son, who gave his life that you might live, who forgave that you might forgive, who rose again that you might be free forever. Walk in his victory. Rest in his love. Shine with his light.